why I chose a Bosch unit, I've always had a little bit lower line systems, and when speaking and doing some researching and speaking with the contractor, Bosch seemed like one of the best choices. I like the variable speed that potentially would save me costs in my power bill. It's a very nice looking system. It's extremely quiet, cools extremely well.
All right. If you have a single stage air conditioner, you deliver full capacity all the time, all of the airflow and all of the compressor power. With the Bosch system, you get all of the airflow so that all of the air in your house moves like it should, but you only use the amount of compressor that you need to maintain or deliver the comfort to the home. You reduce your power bills significantly with a variable capacity compressor or something like the Bosch system that automatically adjusts how much compressor capacity it delivers. What do you think?
Okay. My old unit was going out during the winter, and so I had some extremely high power bills. So I think that kind of contributed, but comparing bills from last year, I'm around 100 to 125 mark probably in savings so far.
I'm happy.
Eric has been extremely happy with the system. He did some research on Bosch, and what we were able to deliver to him exceeded his expectations for efficiency, comfort, and with the Bosch warranty as an ABC contractor, he gets peace of mind that if there are any issues down the road, he has 11 years parts warranty to cover him if something were to happen.
And I was actually speaking with somebody that was here, seeing how the Bosch system looked and sounded, and my other unit was running, and we looked over and saw the fan of the Bosch, and we're like, that system's already running. And my other system, which was an older system, kicked off, and all you could hear was the fan. You couldn't hear any motor, no additional noise. It was the quietest system I've ever heard.
As a contractor, I've been extremely pleased with the ease of installation, the customer satisfaction that delivers after that has been phenomenal. I've installed at least half a dozen or more, and every single client has been very satisfied with the noise level, which is virtually non-existent, and the efficiencies have been a cherry on top, if you will.
My house is about 10 years old, well, going on 11 this December. I've had a few problems here and there with my AC unit. One time I came back in the summer and half the heat strips were on, and I lost a circuit board. Starting last year, one of the units began to leak. The price of Freon shot through the roof, and it was a $500 bill right off the bat. I'm assuming it started leaking over the winter and didn't really notice because we had a pretty cold winter, and I just figured the heat pump couldn't keep up. I heard others were having the same problem. And then once it started getting warm, the cool air wasn't as cold as it should have been, and I got another power bill, and I said, okay, there's a problem. So that's when I from a recommendation of a friend, I called and said, oh, you need to call this contractor. And when he came, handed me the Bosch pamphlet, and I did some research online, and we tried to lip it along. We put some Freon in it, and it lasted about 2 days. So I knew it was ready to replace. So I called him back, and he was out here the next day. So the installation process, the contractor was on time. It was so smooth, very clean and neat. Since it was upstairs unit, it was in the attic. There was covering put all over the floor. Didn't even know they were there hardly. System fired up, and it was so quiet and amazing. It cooled off so quickly upstairs. And whenever he cleaned up, anybody was there, except I had a new unit sitting outside.
We at Rardon Home Performance do everything that we can to make sure that when we commission that system, the only potential failures that you will have are components that are beyond our control.
The airflow seems so much better inside the house. It's a lot more consistent, and it makes it a lot more comfortable. And as much investment as we put into our homes to live there and our families are there. You want to be comfortable at your home, and I feel like I missed out for several years by not having a better system. So I'm very pleased with the Bosch, and I would recommend anybody to purchase it and replace their old unit with it.
The challenge with the lower level system was primarily ducting. With the old system, there was very little volume in the plenum for the outlet of the system. Without trying to be too technical, when the air comes out of the air handling unit, it goes into the duct on the end, and it has to distribute to all of the ducts throughout the house. And the original install had crammed as many ducts as they could get into that plenum, and then sort of as an afterthought added an additional box down the line, which was also very small, and they crammed as many ducts as they could get into that. So the goal downstairs was to make sure that the air distribution was improved, and what that meant was that we added a larger plenum box, and then we added a larger distribution box farther down into the crawl space. We also had to add a return, because the central return, the single central return on the downstairs level, was causing comfort issues in the master bedroom, which maintains the door closed 90% of the time. So we're pushing air into that room without ever pulling it back, except for what comes back through the crack under the door. So the challenge was specifically the ducting on the first floor level was so poor before that we had to take what we had and do the best to improve it by simply modifying and changing as few components as possible to keep the overall job costs at a reasonable point.
So from a high-level consumer, point, I think people will notice that the Bosch system is a lot quieter than any other system I've experienced. The temperature in the house is a lot more consistent. You don't have your spikes in temperature, and then it gets too cold. It's very, very even cooling. And then the power, and then the cost and power. It's a lot cheaper running that variable speed system. From a little bit of a technical standpoint, it's an amazing system. It's very sophisticated. It seems extremely easy to work on, though, and it's a great looking unit, and I like to have it sit outside my house.
With Eric's system, we had replaced the second floor system prior to replacing this system today, and so he had time to experience the benefits and the comfort that the Bosch can deliver while he was trying to limp along his first floor system. And once he had experienced what kind of comfort and energy efficiency the Bosch delivers, he easily decided that the investment in the second system was a no-brainer.
Between the noise, the cost savings so far that I've already experienced in about a month and a half to 2 months, the cooling is amazing. The old system struggled to keep my upstairs cold. The rooms had different temperatures, and with the new Bosch system, the airflow is great. You don't get that temperature spike, so the temperature seems very consistent throughout the day and the night. So you don't go from kind of hot and then it gets too cold. It's a very even cooling. Nothing I've ever experienced before.
When we install any system in a customer's house, we deliver reports and proof of performance and operation, as well as the important steps of installing the system, such as the evacuation report. When you pull an evacuation on an air conditioner to remove the air from the refrigerant lines, most often you have, take me at my word, the evacuation went well. With Rardon Home Performance, we deliver a report that says that this evacuation passed. It's documented as to how low the evacuation went, and it gives you a certificate, if you will, that the evacuation was performed properly. If you would like to hire us to do a consultation on your house or to have us install a Bosch system in your home, check the link in the description for the Rardon Home Performance website. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. This video has been made possible in part by Bosch